Most people assume abundance is the result of external success, money earned, assets accumulated, status achieved. But the research consistently points in a different direction. Abundance is first a pattern of thinking, a cognitive and emotional framework that shapes how opportunities are perceived, decisions are made, and risks are evaluated. What we call wealthy thinking is not mystical. It is measurable in behavior, psychology, and long-term outcomes. And while circumstances matter, the way a person interprets and responds to those circumstances matters more. Abundant people do not simply have more. They think differently about what they have, what is possible, and what they are responsible for creating. The first trait is an internal locus of control, a concept studied extensively in psychology. Individuals with this mindset believe their outcomes are primarily shaped by their own actions, rather than external forces. This doesn't mean they deny luck or systemic factors. It means they default to asking, "What can I influence here?" instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" Over time, this orientation compounds into more action, more experimentation, and ultimately more opportunity. Closely tied to this is a long-term orientation. Research in behavioral economics shows that individuals who prioritize future rewards over immediate gratification consistently outperform in wealth accumulation. Abundant thinkers are willing to delay comfort in favor of strategic positioning. They invest time, energy, and resources into outcomes that may not materialize for months or years because they trust the process of compounding. The third trait is opportunity bias. Where scarcity-minded individuals tend to scan for threats and limitations, abundant thinkers are trained, often deliberately, to scan for leverage, openings, and asymmetry. This doesn't mean blind optimism. It means calibrated optimism, the ability to see potential upside while still accounting for risk. Studies on entrepreneurial cognition show that this bias toward opportunity is one of the strongest predictors of business creation and innovation. Another defining characteristic is emotional regulation. Wealth building requires decision-making under uncertainty, and uncertainty triggers stress. Those who cannot regulate their emotional responses tend to make reactive, short-term decisions, selling too early, quitting too soon, avoiding necessary risks. Abundant individuals develop the capacity to stay steady in volatility, which allows them to act when others freeze. They also think in terms of leverage rather than effort. This is a critical shift. Instead of asking, "How can I work harder?" they ask, "How can this work scale beyond me?" Leverage can come through systems, investments, technology, or people. The result is disproportionate output relative to input, a hallmark of wealth creation. Fifth, abundant thinkers exhibit a high tolerance for calculated risk. Research shows that financially successful individuals are not reckless, they are selective. They take risks where the potential upside significantly outweighs the downside and where the downside is survivable. This creates a portfolio of bets rather than a single all-or-nothing move. Another key trait is identity alignment. People act in accordance with who they believe they are. If someone identifies as bad with money or not the type who succeeds, their behavior will unconsciously reinforce that identity. Abundant individuals either inherit or consciously construct an identity that supports growth, competence, and ownership. This becomes a self-reinforcing loop. Belief shapes action. Action produces results. Results strengthen belief. Seventh is a bias toward learning and adaptation. In rapidly changing environments, static knowledge becomes obsolete quickly. Abundant thinkers continuously update their models of how the world works. They seek feedback, analyze failures, and adjust strategies without attaching their self-worth to being right. This creates resilience and adaptability, two traits strongly correlated with long-term success. They also understand the concept of value creation. Wealth is not generated in isolation. It is a byproduct of solving problems or delivering something others find useful. Abundant individuals focus on increasing the value they can provide through skills, insights, or systems, rather than obsessing over extraction alone. This orientation naturally leads to greater earning potential. Another overlooked trait is decisiveness. Indecision carries a cost: missed opportunities, lost time, diluted focus. Abundant thinkers gather sufficient information, make a decision, and then iterate based on feedback. They understand that clarity often comes from action, not from endless analysis. Finally, they operate from a baseline of sufficiency rather than chronic scarcity. This does not mean they are complacent. It means they are not driven purely by fear of lack. Research in cognitive psychology shows that scarcity narrows attention and reduces cognitive bandwidth, leading to poorer decisions. Abundance, as a mental state, expands perception and improves strategic thinking. It allows individuals to think beyond immediate survival and into creation. Taken together, these traits form a pattern: responsibility, patience, opportunity focus, emotional stability, leveraged thinking, calculated risk, identity alignment, continuous learning, value creation, and decisiveness. None of these are reserved for a specific group of people. They are patterns that can be observed, practiced, and strengthened over time. The shift into abundance is not a single moment of transformation. It is the accumulation of small, repeated decisions that align with a different way of thinking. And over time, those decisions build a reality that looks, from the outside, like success, but from the inside, feels like inevitability.